I love using natural decor for decorating. To me, it feels much more minimal than a lot of the commercial things that you can buy. It just feels so calming. And so what I did, I want to show you how I decorated my front entranceway using some natural decor. I made a wreath. I almost always make a Christmas wreath. So yesterday we went and foraged for some things for that and we made them. It is super inexpensive because I had the wreath form ahead of time and then just a couple of other supplies, which I will show you in a minute, but it is dead simple and the entranceway looks really nice. The best thing is, in the end, it can all just be composted, no waste at all. If this is your first time here, my name is Robyn. I help overwhelmed people simplify their lives by being organized, productive, and creating an environment where they can thrive. I don't have my D, it's inside, but let's go back in time and I will show you how I decorated my front porch and made a wreath. So it's a little cold out today. It is 3:24 on December the 2nd. And I usually like to make a wreath for my front door at the beginning of December. I do the decorating of the inside a few weeks earlier, but I do the front door and the outside a little bit later, especially because if I'm using fresh greens, they won't last that long. Even if it's cold out, I mean, they'll just dry out. Even though our climate here, it's much more humid than it is in a lot of other spots in Canada. It's going to be windy. It is cold. The sun is going to set soon. At least I have a view of the gorgeous mountain. So I'm just going to go over some of my supplies. This is some cedar boughs. And then I have a local thing that you will often see in a lot of bouquets and stuff, and it's called alllll. It seems to grow natively here, although it's hard to plant. And then my husband and I went and got some holly. This is an invasive species, so I don't feel bad cutting it. And I'm going to use something completely different today that I've never used before, and it may completely backfire, so we'll see. It is fern leaves, so I'm going to use fern leaves on my wreath. I think they will be gorgeous. My husband's like, "Are you going for a West Coast vibe?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I actually am." I'm going to use these, but they may shrivel up and die. The thing about ferns is they like to be moist. But I do have a secret weapon that I will show you later on that will hopefully help these things stay in much better shape longer. The supplies that I will use that are not greenery are these. This is called paddle wire. Of course, it's green. I also have one that's just like a metal, which is fine. And then this is just a wreath form. I think this one is 14 inches. I would like one that's just like a couple inches bigger, like in diameter, but it's fine. And then I just have my pruners because I'm obviously going to have to cut down some of the greenery. And yes, I know we need a new porch here. I think it like straight up needs to be replaced, but the lovely guy who we love, our friend, he built the house, he painted it. Not a great idea on the West Coast because it rains so much. The paint didn't stand a chance. So I'm just going to sit down, get down to work, turn my podcast on. I always like to listen to like Stuff You Should Know. I love that podcast. And they have such great holiday episodes. I was actually just listening to a podcast all about Rasputin, but it just didn't seem like the right time. So I'm going to cut these down into small things about that size, and I'm just going to put them in a pile over here. If you've never touched holly, it has like spikes on the end. This one has a few berries. We couldn't find a ton. I don't think it really matters on the wreath. So what I'm going to do is cut it low, and then I'm going to actually cut some of the leaves off so I can actually handle it, because you'll see when I make the wreath without gloves, and I actually don't have any gloves left. Without gloves, I would be a bleeding mess. This one has so many nice berries on it. What I'm going to do is just sort of tuck this one in later. I think I'm going to make the ferns about this long. So I just take my form and I take my paddle wire and I just slide it in and wrap it just so it's secure. It doesn't have to be anything special. There are a couple ways to do this. I'm going to show you both. So one method is just to take a piece of greenery, wrap it around, and you do it kind of tight because this is green. Like I just cut it. It will dry out, so it needs to be tight. Then you come in with something else on top of it. You just go around again. However, there's a better way. Well, let me show you. I'm going to set this down. So I am going to make a bundle. So I take a cedar branch, fern, alllll. You don't always have to include all of the same, but there you go. So I have a bundle of my 4 things. Put this bundle here. You just go around and then around. So I sort of went through the bundle and now around the bundle. And we're trying to keep it tight and try to get things sort of flared to the outer part of the wreath. See that? The bundle method's better, don't you think? Oh, my hands are cold. Just try not to push any leaves down. Like work around them. Look at that. Like this is actually quite fast. I'm gonna cut this because it's got a funny little stem. Always make sure you can see all of your fingers when you're cutting something. Otherwise, you might not see those fingers again. I'm going to put this holly right in the front, nice and prominent. Now, we just foraged this stuff from our backwoods. We live on 5 acres on Vancouver Island. I feel very fortunate for that. It's gorgeous. And what's nice is you can go back on our own land, take this stuff. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. Like this does not need to last long. A couple of weeks. That's it. Sun goes down like behind the mountain, I swear, before 2 o'clock. This is what happens. You live on a mountain. You like living on a mountain, don't you, Robyn? I do. Then you're going to have to deal with the sun going down earlier. I recognize that. Thank you. What I had to do, I think I forgot to turn the camera on. You have to peel back the section, the very first section, and then gingerly slide a much smaller bundle in and then wrap the wire around. I just sort of tie it haphazardly in the back, trying to keep some semblance of tension. Whoop. No, don't forget, I'm also going to show you how to keep it moist. I know people hate that word. I don't, but I'm aware of it. This is just a wreath hanger, and I put some felt on it just to protect the door. This is the nice piece of holly. I am taking these sharp leaves off. Okay, how's that look? Hard to see. Let me come in closer. So I can see a couple spots where I want to tuck some in, and then I'm going to do the special treatment to make it last so long. This is wilt proof, and it is made with like pine resin. So it's really nothing to worry about. It says shake it really well. And it says spray the tops and bottoms of leaves, needles, and stems to run off. Always allow it to dry outdoors in daylight, not necessarily sunlight, for 3 to 4 hours. Wash sprayer with warm water and detergent. So that would make sense, right? Because it's like a sap. It said to run off. So to me, that means to run off. Really spray it. And it says the stems, actually. And the stems are on the bottom. So I'm flipping it over and I'm doing those first. There we go. So now I'm going to let it dry. My hands are so cold that I can barely feel them. But I'm just going to quickly tuck a few greens into this. When your hands are numb, it's nice because if you stab yourself, it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm also not spraying these because I'm putting them into soil, so that will help them stay moist. I can't smile because my face is frozen. Now we will take over tomorrow and I will show you how it looks. Okay, so this planter, I think it actually looks pretty good. I mean, it's a little funny, but we got the lemon cypress, and then I just put the cedar behind it and the holly in the front. So it definitely has more of a festive look. And then here, I just took some holly and salal and just put it in that watering can. I don't know. This area always feels a little much to me, but you know. And then there is the actual wreath. Don't mind my son actually put a label saying house on it. Silly. The ferns actually turned out really well. They don't look like they're drying out too much. And I don't know. I think they could in the long run, but I can always just remove them and put something else on. And the spray I put on looks really good. It even has a bit of a sheen to it. And I brought it and hung it up about 4 hours last night. And then this is just an old milk jug. And then my sleigh, which I also love. And I just took some holly and I just wired it together and just connected it at the back. And I have this little gnome guy here. I don't know. Might seem a bit much. To see my indoor tour of how I decorated, click here. This is my simplified home playlist. If you liked this style of video, let me know in the comments. I don't know if I would do this sort of one all the time, but if you like it, let me know.